I hope I'm not a hoarder, but for myself,
I'll tell you if you are.
I do have those moments because, yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, that was like the first Easter, you know, like pretty little Easter dresses and things like that. So I will select like maybe 5 things. And even that's probably too much, maybe like 3 things that I want to keep to maybe pass down to them or just remind them down the, you know, in the future. And that's it.
What is the perfect bite? That mix of flavors, textures, colors, and aromas that come together in one amazing amuse-bouche. Big ideas expressed in small bites. That's our podcast, a variety of inspiring topics to make your financial goals and dreams a reality.
Brought to you by Clark County Credit Union for your weekly serving of food reviews, financial education, and life hacks that your future self will appreciate. It's the perfect bite of interesting information to start your week. Welcome to episode 51 of The Perfect Bite. I'm Crystal Price.
And I'm Shannon Hiller. Let's dig in. At The Perfect Bite, we love trying new dishes, and today we're checking out Jammyland Cocktail Bar and Reggae Kitchen. Next, we'll share how to save money on your energy bills. And finally, for your future self, we'll share tips to help you declutter.
Each week on The Perfect Bite, we'll visit a locally owned Southern Nevada restaurant that we hope will become your new favorite. This week, we're sharing a new spot that I visited called Jammyland Cocktail Bar and Reggae Kitchen. So, doing my research, I saw that they had excellent ratings. They have a 4.4 star review on Google, 4.6 on OpenTable, and a 4.5 on Yelp. So I think that's
good.
A pretty amazing. Yeah, so I was very hyped up to go. So Jammyland was a fun visit. It's located downtown on Main Street. So there's a lot of action, a lot of other little restaurants and boutiques, things like that down there. Most of the restaurants down there, or most of the locations down there, I would say, are really limited on space. It's like kind of stacked on one another.
And parking be an
is
issue.
Very hard, yes. So when you arrive to Jammyland, I was surprised because it's actually, it feels like it's got so much space. It's got an open plaza area where there's hanging outdoor lights draping across like a bunch of tables out front. So you're almost kind of like, wait, what is this? Is this the place? And it is. So you walk through the courtyard, then the building is behind on the courtyard side. The interior, they've got really tall ceilings, very industrial feeling. And then of course like the reggae music playing in the back. So it was a vibe.
Is it near that really good donut place on the front, the street front? Because I remember we would get donuts and then walked around and there were like
I don't know.
Planters.
I need to know this donut place.
I'm blanking on the name of it. We'll have to go. But yeah, they have like amazing, huge gourmet donuts down there.
Very possibly. There's a lot of cool stuff down there. I know there was like a cool like antique store that I like to go to. So what I ordered when I went, I was like, okay, I'm going to definitely Jamaican food. I'm going to order kind of like some of those staple things. So I ordered the beef patty, which was $10. Beef patty, if you're unfamiliar, it's beef made with like a turmeric pastry, curry spices blends, different chilies, thyme, cilantro.
So not a burger.
It's not a burger. It's like ground meat within a pocket bun, I guess.
Okay.
Super good. The cilantro dipping sauce had a nice spice to it. So it was nice to kind of balance the flavors within the patty and then with the dipping sauce. And then of course I ordered jerk wings. They were $20 for a pound of wings. And so the server, she was like, maybe I went with friends. So she was like, maybe one pound might be good for one person. 1 pound might be good for multiple people. It really just depends on the weight of the wings and how it all measures out exactly.
And what else you're ordering, like if that was your main thing or not.
So that was what I ordered, just the beef patty and the wings, and I split it. There was 3 of us that split those wings, which was plenty. And one of the cool things that I saw on the menu, people, I think a lot of times they'll get wings and then they'll get like ranch to dip it in or maybe ketchup or whatever the thing is. But they had a special note on there that said, please don't ask for salad dressing. These wings are far above that. So I was like, okay.
They are too good for this.
Yes, they will be just plenty. And they were perfectly seasoned. They said that they smoke them the entire day in-house. So it was really nice. It was very good. That was definitely their signature item. I think when I go back, what I want to order is the Trinidadian mac pie. So it's said to be a spicier, firmer form of macaroni and cheese, which I love anyways. So I'll do that.
Sounds good.
Yeah. The recommendation for you, Shannon just mentioned a bit ago, parking. Yes, if you are planning on going to Jammyland, come in with enough time to find parking. it's like hit or miss. You know, you might pull up, there's something right there. Otherwise, you're parking a couple blocks down and walking over. Parking, you have to pay for it. So just kind of keep that in your budget as well.
Yeah, listen to our previous episode on downtown parking.
Yes. And then if you plan on sitting down, especially on a weekend, make a reservation. That's the first thing they asked when I walked in the door. Do you have a reservation? It's like, yes, I do.
You can stay. Okay.
So you're safe to go. If you have your recommendation for us to try a restaurant or a dish, send us a message at theperfectbite@cccculv.com. We're always open to new ideas. Next up, Shannon's going to talk about some no-cost ways to save money on one of the most expensive bills that you might have, your power bill.
Yes, when you live in a place like Southern Nevada, like we do, the power bill rates and the bills are a common topic of conversation. I see it all the time on apps like Nextdoor or even in group chats with a lot of local people. It's like, did you guys see how much is your power bill this month?
It went up this month.
Yes. Oh my gosh, so expensive. And even before I bought my last house, I called MV Energy to be like, hey, what is the average cost of the utilities for the month before I buy this house? Because when you move into maybe a bigger space, how much does it cost to cool this house?
And that's super cool. I didn't know you could do that until you had mentioned that before. So very good tip.
Yes, I would always check that out. So recently, MV Energy shared some no-cost ways to potentially save you 10 to 25% on your monthly energy bill. And that would be huge. 25% of my bill would be a nice little extra money in our pocket to put into some savings or something. Yeah. And so we just picked a few of the tips that we want to point out and discuss today. I tried to pick a few things that maybe I hadn't thought about or that were just a little different. And one of the things just overall was to keep things clean and running smoothly and to take advantage of natural cooling and heating whenever possible. And so yes, we actually get cold here in Southern Nevada, and so we can take advantage of that when we can. So in the winter, open your window coverings on the sunny side of your home to take advantage of free heat from the sun. And I was thinking my dog is the perfect example of this.
Oh, yeah.
She will literally follow that patch of sunlight throughout our house and lay in it. And so if you know what part of your house is getting that heat from the day, open up those blinds or shutters, and then on the opposite side, close the coverings on the cloudy days or right after the sun sets. And so our window coverings can really impact the temperature of our homes. The next one, barbecue outdoors when practical, and it will help reduce the heat coming into your home. So any kind of heating, in your house, like, in the winter, if you have the oven on, it's going to heat up your home too. So I think that barbecuing all year round is one of the perks of living here in Southern Nevada. And so it also will help reduce the load on your air conditioning. Next, vacuum your refrigerator coils underneath and in the back. Have you ever done that?
I have not.
I've never done that.
That's like a big task.
Yeah.
Refrigerators can be very heavy, but
and underneath, how do I get underneath? I'd have to empty out.
I know there's like a front, a vent thing that you can detach and reattach. So
okay,
I guess under
so maybe the right vacuum attachment could squirrel in there somehow. Yeah. But yeah, it just said that they need air space to work, and so it's often dusty here in our area. Yes. And if dust is collecting under there, I could totally see that. This one was interesting. Make sure food is cool and covered before it goes into the refrigerator. And I was thinking, I do not do that because I have a weird fear of bacteria and stuff growing on my food. So even while it's still hot, I'll put it in the fridge. But that's raising the temperature of the whole entire refrigerator.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, I don't know which do I care about more? Which one will I do?
Or yes.
But yeah, let things get to room temperature before you put them in. Probably, my husband says I'm weird about caring about that stuff. Anyway, next up, use your dishwasher, washing machine, and dryer, and use those as late in the evening as possible. And so I think it's cooler out, right? And maybe if your house uses that energy, you wouldn't be using as much other power, I'm guessing.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I hadn't thought about that because I know during the day, we're working from home. So a lot of time I do my clothes washing during the day. Mm-hmm. So I guess I should just wait until the evening.
Yeah, I'll wake up and pop in a load of laundry. Or I love my scheduling setting. So I'll put it in at night and then I'll set it to start at 6 a.m. or something.
That's smart.
And then I get up and I'm like, oh, now I can switch my laundry.
Nice warm clothes.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it works. All right. If your dishwasher has a filter, keep it clean. So back to that, keeping all your appliances just clean and operating. And I have seen many a video on cleaning out not only a dishwasher filter, but a washing machine filter.
I've seen
And
those.
it is disgusting, people.
Yeah.
Like, if you haven't done that, definitely give it a clean. I haven't heard of this one, but I've heard of it related to cell phone chargers. Unplug your TV or DVD, DVR, whatever you have, VHS if you're into that. When you're on vacation, most new sets draw power even when they're turned off. And I've heard our cell phone chargers are called like vampire plugs because they actually are always like sucking power all the time. So even if it's plugged in, you should and it's not attached.
Unplug things are just it's like the task of doing it.
I know.
Okay, plug them all. Unplug them. All right, ready to use them. Plug them back in.
Yes. Extra step, save you a little bit. All right, a couple more here and then we'll wrap up. So keep lights and lighting fixtures clean, especially if you're reducing the number of lights you use. Dirt absorbs light. So again, with the dust here in Southern Nevada, if you have a bunch of light fixtures or some kind of like entryway chandelier, as the dust coats that, it's going to be harder to be bright. And so it's going to be using more power. So keep things clean. Of course, be careful if you're actually washing or touching light bulbs. You need to be careful.
Yes.
If your AC unit is on the ground, keep the area around it clean and free of obstructions to maintain airflow. So similar to our refrigerator example, you don't want things around it to block its functions. And then this one I also have never done or even checked. Set your water heater to 120 degrees. How do you even do that, Crystal? We'll have to look into
I know my husband has mentioned things like this to me, and I'm like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I don't really see why we'd ever need it hotter than that, right? Yeah, that doesn't seem healthy. So there's a bunch more tips that, again, are zero cost, just things that we can do, and maybe make a regular schedule of cleaning and making it a priority to even know how to do those types of cleaning and getting it behind the refrigerator and under the dishwasher, all those fun things. So we hope that these tips will help reduce that power bill, which we all know is coming for the summer. We'll post a link to the full list of suggestions, and I hope that we'll give a few of these a try. And now a break to hear from our sponsor.
Clark County Credit Union members have received more than $73 million in bonus dividends since 2001 just for using the credit union services they need every day. Since CCCU is owned by our account holders, they earn the dividend, not shareholders. This year, we returned a $2.6 million bonus dividend to members with auto loans, credit cards, and checking accounts. Open an account today and start earning your own bonus dividend. Funds privately insured by American Share Insurance.
Next up is our Future Self segment inspired by the Happiness Project. Now, everybody, let's be real. No matter how many times you successfully decluttered your home or your closet, you can often find yourself caught up in a cluttered space again.
Oh, yes. So true. With kids especially.
Yes. Living rooms clutter, closet clutter, all of it. So sometimes you get rid of your old stuff, and next thing you know, you're bringing in new stuff, and the cycle just never ends. Well, we've got a couple of tips that we took from a Glamour article that we think might be a game changer to help you with decluttering and actually staying decluttered. The first tip on the list is to find a home for every item. This kind of reminds me of like the Marie Kondo. Did you ever watch that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So her big thing was like finding a home. Everything has like a place and a.
Does it spark joy?
Yes. Does it
keep
spark
it or
joy?
not?
Kind of. Yes. And so we'll touch that. So if there's one home organization rule in every household, it should be finding a home for every item. When doing this, you want to make sure that every item has a convenient and consistent storage area. Most professional home organizers often recommend labeling drawers, cabinets, and bins. I haven't done this, but I know I've seen like those remodeling shows where they do it, and it's like beautiful, like cabinets where it's like flour, sugar. Like I wanted it one day be like that, and I guess it helps. So if you have the time and the space, labeling is definitely recommended. One thing I do have at my house, though, for giving things a home is like dedicated drawers. So like one drawer is dedicated to my pot holders, and then another one is for foil or saran wrap, sandwich bags, things like that. Do you have any kind of systems going on at your house?
A little bit like that. I mean, we definitely have designated drawers and spots for things. What I started doing kind of recently was I group things by function, or like, okay, for example, all my baking stuff. So I used to have things kind of all spread out. So it's like if I was going to make cookies, I was going to this pantry, this area to get the flour, and then I'd go over here and get the baking soda, and the baking soda was by the spices, and then the vanilla was by the olive oil, stuff like that. So now I have it like all the stuff in one cabinet to make that kind of stuff.
Too. Yeah, I was like, in the one cabinet and then by the stove, because I never know, like I'm going to be adding on things to whatever it is, and then like my big utensils are like in the drawer right next to the stove as well. So like certain things like that where I don't have to like go across the kitchen to go get this and then come back to the stove. And
so that's helped, I think, being more efficient in the kitchen, and then not stepping on my dog who's following me the whole time because I'm not spinning around. And the other thing, I do love my Ziploc drawer. I feel like I've made it in life. When I open that drawer, I'm like, I have all the sizes. I just feel so excited. But yeah, all the like storage things are all together, and I don't know.
It's a nice
silly.
Feeling.
It is, I know.
It's like you want to maintain the niceness of it. Like once it's in its place, you're like, okay, everybody see this? This is what we're going to do. We're going to keep it looking just like this. And hopefully it, like everybody picks up on that same kind of vibe of getting things.
They won't, but yeah, we'll try.
Who put this in this?
I know.
The next thing on the list is to make decluttering a daily habit. So most people think that decluttering needs to be done like a big project at the end of each season, like, you know, spring cleaning or winter refresh, things like that. But if you know it'll only take a few minutes to declutter, why not?
I think if you can do something in like a minute, like the mail. Sometimes the mail comes and I'm like, I really don't get that much real mail anymore. You know, we probably all just got our actual tax forms in the mail. But other than that, I'm like, I don't get a lot of legit mail. And so it really doesn't take that long to go through it. But sometimes I'll just let it sit there and like collect for a while. So
sometimes if it takes... I will. Last night it was actually, speaking of mail, we got the mail in. It was just left on the counter. Nobody wanted to go through it. I was like, let me just go through it real quick. So I went through junk, tore it. There was like only 2 real pieces out of probably 10. So I was able to throw out the other ones. Why, leave it on the counter where it can just collect junk and kind of be like this almost magnet for other things to be set on top of it. So yeah, if you get things, declutter it in the moment. Don't wait. Another thing that I do is like for Violet. So she's 3 now. So she's just gone through a lot of those little milestones. But what I would do is have like those purge moments at the milestone. So at the 3-month mark, okay, we're going to get rid of the newborns. At the 6th month, we're going to get rid of the 3-month, instead of like keeping it stocked up in a closet somewhere. Like I'm just like, let's just get rid of it. I don't want to see it anymore. She can't wear it. There's no use for it to be in the house. So don't wait. Make it a habit. So rethink your value system is next. Holding on to stuff because of its monetary value, even if you never use it, won't give you the peace that you're longing for. Learn to let go of things that don't bring value.
I think maybe not monetary value, but what about sentimental value? That's what gets me when I want to try to declutter stuff. I'm like, but this is what they wore on the first day of whatever. And I can remember this moment. And it kind of gives you a little walk down memory lane. And then I don't want to get rid of it.
You have limits. It's like, and this is, I hope I'm not a hoarder, but for myself,
I'll tell you if you are.
I do have those moments because, it's like, oh my gosh, that was like the first Easter, like pretty little Easter dresses and things like that. So I will select like maybe 5 things. And even that's probably too much, maybe like 3 things that I want to keep to maybe pass down to them or just remind them down the, in the future. And that's it. And I no more than that. We can't hold on to all the dresses, all the holidays, just the special key moments. Get rid of those. Another thing I like to do is like, if they are very special, is I like to kind of hand me down to maybe family members. So then I can see it be worn again and be like, oh, look, she's got, Ivory's old dress or whatever.
Yeah.
But you can't hold on to everything. So rethinking your value system is super important.
Or maybe like take a picture of it.
Or
I do that with artwork for the kids.
Print it or something, have it put up so it's not just lost in your phone.
Put it in a little scrapbook or something so you can remember. Because I think the whole point is you get that memory, and so that's why you hold on to it. But if you can get the memory some other way, then do that.
Yeah, can't hold on to everything. And next is to practice one in and the one out system. So when you're out shopping, it may be hard to resist items that are on sale. If you have a similar item at home, try to donate that item and make space for your new items. Or better yet, if the item is at home and it's in a good condition, just don't get the new item.
Now, if I can only make this apply to stuffed animals at my house, we would be golden. I have a daughter that it is the one out portion is just not acceptable to her.
I
so
feel that one. That's yeah.
Squishmallows, man. Those are all over our house. Very good.
If you'd like to get the full list from Glamour on how to declutter, visit our show notes. We want to hear from you. Send us your financial questions or money topics that you'd like to learn more about, and don't forget any fun local food recommendations. Our email is theperfectbite@ccculv.com.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode brought to you by Clark County Credit Union. For additional money management tips and financial calculators, check out our website at ccculv.org. Now that was The Perfect Bite.